Hey Science Seekers, Mr. Pfeiffer here. I am doing another household project. I think at one point I showed you guys this hole that we made, and you can see right now we've put an empty and dead hot tub shell inside of there for the beginnings of what will be a native pond. It's a lot of different stages to this project, and it will take a long time to do. But it's important to understand today's lesson is more about materials. What do you need for the job you're going to do or the experiment you're going to do? You always have to think about what lab materials, what measurement materials, what tools do you need for that kind of stuff. And in this case, we need a wheelbarrow, we need some concrete mix right here, standard concrete mix, about a 50-pound bag. And then we're going to need these little glass tiles and these Mexican tiles that I hammered out into smaller pieces, okay? The reason we need all that is because we are going to be making a walkway. So another tool, material we're going to need is this right here, all right? This is a mold. What happens is when you take this concrete, all right, and this is the science part too, is that you add it, it's a powder, all right? Now when water touches this, a chemical reaction will occur so that this powder, technically the solid, kind of becomes a liquid, as you can see when you mix it together. When you throw a little water in there, it's another material we're going to need. You want to make sure you include every material. Is concrete. Now when you get it to be of this consistency, all right, a nice kind of liquid-like consistency, you go ahead, take it, and you pour it into these molds. Now what happens is once you fill a whole mold, you get it all full, and eventually what happens is all the little pebbles, you can see there's rocks and stuff in there, well, all of those kind of level out so that you're stuck with this nice little imprint right here, okay? Now what we do next is we take the different tiles and we just gently, very gently tap them in. And what's happening is all the rocks, all the pebbles, all the heavy stuff, all the things with heavier masses will sink to the bottom, and the light parts of the concrete will stay on top, which is why it already looks kind of smooth. Now you can also shake it like this, tap it in, and that will make some of the heavier stuff fall down. And as we take these little gems, same thing, we just gently tap them in, and then they get inside. So you go ahead, you do that throughout every one of these pieces. It takes about a little over one whole bag of concrete to make one of these stepping stones. Once you're done, you lift it up and you get something like this. And then, finally you wash it off and it'll be dried and it'll look like this. This is all made 100% just on my own, like kind of like a DIY job, but you can see what we're going to do then is fill it in with pea gravel. Pea gravel is a smaller type of rock, that's another material we're going to need. And you pour that in between these little cracks to fill in the cracks. Ultimately, what you end up with at some point in time is we're going to have a walkway going all the way over to here. But you can see one that I built about 7 years ago, right here. This is an example of a walkway that was built 7 years ago, and you can see kind of how it still kind of stays in good condition. And all of those gems and all of those tiles have then been laid out and set in stone. Science-wise, chemistry-wise, one thing that we're saying too is that liquid is going to change into a solid to the point where it's hard and you can walk on it, right? It's concrete. So it starts out with a liquid, but then it's activated once you add the liquid. And the chemicals that are reacting with the water will eventually make that powder freeze up. That's the science term, freeze up, and the liquid goes back into a solid, and then it stays as a solid. So that's what we're doing today in Science Seekers episode. I'll keep you guys posted on our project here as we continue to evolve and grow and build this up more and more. But each step is a different phase, and each step requires a thought and an idea of how engineering and science works. Remember, science is all around you guys. Keep thinking about that on every episode. Peace.